Good morning. How are you? I'm a little nervous. This feels like an interview almost. Now, I actually used to teach people how to interview. And what you do, one of the things I suggested is getting to the place that you're going to interview about 30 minutes earlier and before your interview, and then get comfortable. Drive around the parking lot, walk around the building, feel like you've always been here. Feel like you've always had this job. And what you do is when you go into the interview, just make eye contact, shake hands confidently, but not too cocky. Answer the questions and give information about yourself. Good morning, everyone. I may not be looking at comments because I am actually doing this video for a reason. This will be a link that I send to the people that we are contacting for Project Hope. I'm just a little nervous. Because this is my life. This is my life. This is not only my life, this is your life. This is the lives of your children. So it's kind of important. So with that, what is Project Hope? Project Hope is never giving up hope. I'm going to read off my timeline because I always feel that it is important for you to know the person behind an idea and the why. What is the why? In my new awakening, when I newly reawakened, I looked for the why. The why is the most important thing. Why? Why are you doing this? Why do you feel this way? Thank you, Cash. And just as a heads up to everybody, I have printed off resumes as well as testimonials, and those will be going as well with the email that we send by the end of this weekend to the people who are the family who have the ability of funding Project Hope. This isn't not for the purchase of the property because we already have that covered. This is for everything else. And I want to relay in this video the importance of what we really have a hold of. The paradigm shift that we are creating. So with that, here is my timeline as best I can remember. And from the help of other people. David Hopkins, born April 7th, 1971. I am now 47 years old. The doctors wanted my mother to have an abortion due to mental and physical handicaps they said I would have. She refused. 1971 to 1978. Moved around the world. My father was in the Air Force. He did 2 tours in Vietnam. Suffered from massive post-traumatic stress disorder. 1978. Moved to California. Sexually abused. Mother left my father with 3 boys after being diagnosed with terminal illness. 1974 to 1979 to 1984. Lived in another city in California. Physically, mentally, emotionally abused by father who suffered from being a Vietnam veteran without proper help. I became addicted to drugs, and, well, let's just say I became a lost teenager. 1984 to 1985. I met Allison. That didn't go over too well at that time. My mother came for a weekly, we did weekend visits with my mother, and this weekend she kidnapped us for a year. Suffered drug, psychological, mental, physical, emotional abuse and brainwashing by our mother and our stepfather for that entire year. 1985, my mother shot herself through the chest in front of me. I called my dad to come rescue us after this happened. 1985 to 1990. Lived life as a lost teenager. Odd jobs in landscaping, construction, remodeling. 1990 to 1992. I went into the Job Corps. I learned construction because I loved it after doing it, so I learned construction, building maintenance, land development, handyman trades. 1992 to 1993, jobs included apartment maintenance management, landscaping, land contouring, remodeling of homes. 1993 to October 1993, my mother died. I lost my job due to drugs. My oldest son Joshua was born, and I was kicked out of my father's apartment with my baby and his mother due to drugs. November 93 to October 1994, homeless with my newborn and his mother. Made sure almost every night the mother and my son were in the shelter while I spent the nights on the streets. I couldn't make it into the men's shelter in time before the beds were filled. I was hungry every day, tired every day, but I never gave up hope. Not for a moment. I was still on drugs. October 1994. October 30th, 1994. One day before my son's first birthday, we found an apartment. After searching and utilizing the homeless program, stayed in motels for a month and found, after searching on foot and free bus passes, an apartment complex that would let us move in. Still addicted to drugs. 1994 to February 1995. My second son was born. Still living in the apartment, still on drugs. 7/11/1996. My father died after finding his childhood sweetheart and married her 1 year prior. He died. 8/1/1996. I woke up that morning, no longer addicted to drugs. Immediately enrolled myself into adult education classes to change our lives. 1996 to 1998. I worked for a company called Examine as a file clerk. Within 2 years of working there, I earned 5-star awards, helped increase production for an entire company by at least double, trained others on computers after using their office before and after hours to train myself on Microsoft Office Suite, the entire suite. I trained myself enough to write macros, which produced a toolbar to earn me one of my star awards. 1998 to 2000, I worked for the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. Earned 5-star awards and multiple on-the-spot awards for my exemplary work and was sent all over the United States of America to multiple facilities to assist in many projects. Took many classes available to me, such as website design, professional presentations, public education and outreach, fishery events. I was asked by the director of the National Conservation Training Center in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, to come and do a 3-week detail and help them with multiple projects. One of which is still seen in Century Theaters today every time you see a slide from the United States Fish and Wildlife Service. All of this while being a GS4 Step 1 and Step 2. 2000 to 2002, I worked for a company called H.O.P.E, a very small little computer training school. I handled admissions, calendaring of classes, computer training, sales and marketing, website, database management. When the school was closing, due to a lot of online classes that had come out, and the in-your-face classes, one-on-one classes, were really no longer viable, I was the only one asked by the CEO of H.O.P.E to stay on to the very last day to help them close the school officially. And I was giving a very hefty severance package to do so because of my organizational skills and my loyalty. 2002 to 2003, I worked for another school where we trained adults how to use computers and software. These were people that, due to physical handicaps, or not physical handicaps, they got hurt on a job, they could no longer do that job. They were really rehabilitated workers. They came to our school, and I taught them computers, and I taught them software. I taught them Windows, Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. I also threw in a couple extra just because Publisher is pretty awesome. So I taught them that as well. I prepared them for the real estate and mortgage industry. I also had my last son in 2003. That was the final wake up I needed. We needed money. I got the money. 2003 to 2008, I switched my career to the mortgage industry. I helped create a company from 8 people to over 1,500 people in 18 months. I made more money there than I had ever made in my life due to mortgage loans. Hold on one second. I was a sales and marketing director. I was an instructor. I was on the board of directors for two mortgage companies. Successfully managed a team of over 250 people. I spoke in front of thousands of people. I was a motivational speaker for these companies. I was a trainer, assisted many companies in increasing profits. This is all in those 5 years. Not the same company. Hiring the right people, moving people into their strengths, helping them overcome challenges. Opened my own school for a year. I trained thousands of people in sales and marketing, office skills. It was called Career Training Academy, as well as mortgage loans and real estate. It was over 10,000 students within those 5 years. Assisted with course creation, website creation, office management training, policies and procedures. Networked with over 500 businesses in Nevada and California. My best year earned income was over $215,000. My worst year in those 5 years was $70,000. 2006. Now here, within those 5 years, here's where it all happened. 2006, my friend gave me the secret after I was speaking with him about all of the things I was remembering. Remember, I woke up on August 1st, 1996. And information started coming back to me. My friend gave me the secret after speaking with him about all the things I was remembering. It validated so much. 2008, the end of those 5 years. I followed the rabbit hole. I'd been noticing something. I'd been noticing something about money. And that it came from somewhere and it went to somewhere. But it ended up going back to the same place. So I searched. I followed the rabbit hole to find out this world isn't as pretty as it's portrayed. My friend, another one of my friends, gave me the link to Zeitgeist. And it destroyed and changed my life forever. And the real estate bubble burst in 2007. 2009, I followed the rabbit hole while trying to come with terms with my new awakening and all of the new information that I was remembering. I couldn't take it, so I looked for a place to go. That brings us to hope. In 2009, I was living in a 2,700 square foot home, 2-story. The ceiling in the family room was 30 feet high. Could never change those freaking light bulbs. The backyard was so huge. I mean, we had one of those tape measures that measured 100 feet. Didn't even reach the back of it. Had my weight set in my room. Had one of those huge tubs and a shower next to it. You know, it was the life. Yet I was unhappy. I was unhappy because I realized what was going on in the world. So I looked for a place to go. I was looking for the Venus Project. You know, by Jacques something. I think is Jacques or something. The Venus Project from the Zeitgeist movie. I was looking for an address because I was going to pack up my children and I was going to run. I was going to leave. I quickly began losing money because my heart wasn't in it anymore. It just wasn't in it. And I needed to get out. Couldn't find an address. But I happened upon this word, intentional community. I happened upon this word, intentional community. And during my search for an intentional community in 2009, I happened upon IC.org. I want you to write this down, everyone. IC.org. Of course, the one pen I grab, it doesn't really work. Okay, anyway. Oh my gosh. An entire website dedicated to intentional communities. I apologize for not answering comments. This video is for a link that I'm going to put in an email. I'm trying to get through it as fast as I can. An entire website dedicated to intentional communities. I had my out. I was going to pack up my children in 2009 and move into an intentional community. There were thousands of them. Thousands and thousands and thousands of them all over the world. I sighed. I found my out. I found my home. So I started clicking on the links. 5 people living there. No, it's IC, the letter C. Intentionalcommunity.org. IC.org. 5 people living there. Website not found. Website link has been taken down. Beautiful pictures from 10 years ago. No new information. Launched in 1999. We're building this. I mean, the write-out was massively incredible. 28 homes in this many acres, and I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Finally, I click on the link. Website been taken down. Called the number. It's been disconnected or is no longer in service. Not taking new members, not taking new members, not taking new members, not taking new members. All under the heading intentional community. Community. A community of people. I searched for months. Made phone calls. Nothing. And in the months that I searched, more and more websites kept coming down. On the little map that they had, more and more places that I know there was a dot there. It was gone. That's when it hit me. It's time. If I can't find an intentional community that is there for everyone, that has the ability of growing so that it expands and it doesn't disappear. When it's filled to capacity, we will build another one. That's when the decision was made. This is what I'm going to do. I didn't realize it at the time. You know how you're in a place right now at this very moment and then you go, oh my God, my whole life has led me to this moment. You know, at this very moment in your life, you're sitting there and you realize that your entire life led you to this moment. Well, that's this moment. That's Project Hope. I've never given up hope. I just read you my life, and that was that much of my life. In 2009, at the end of 2009, I met Allison again. We moved in, and our awakening, well, let's just say it went all out. I began remembering information. Yes, David, mine was the moment you see me. Yes, Lord. I began remembering information about a geodesic crystalline sphere structure that can heal DNA, well, and heal our body, mind, and spirit, and so much more. I was visioning a property, not just any property, a big property. Not just a big property, something that would grow. From 2009 to now, all that information kept coming down. I saw this. It turns out it led me to something called the flower of life. This is what is known as the seed of life. In here, now, this is what I saw, but I didn't know what was in it until just recently. And in this exists everything that can help everyone. I'm writing down some information. Hold on one second. Okay. So again, I couldn't find a place to go, a place for my children to get out of here, but not just to get out of here, to change here, to change this. All. To become the new paradigm, the shift, the new template for the world, for current intentional communities, as well as any future intentional community. It downloaded. I remembered. This is Project Hope. Visitor Center and Administrative Area. VA. Veterans. You know, not just veterans. Who is Project Hope for? Project Hope is for the homeless. Should I say people in between homes? Project Hope is for the single parents that have been abused and want a safe life for their children. Project Hope is for those who come to learn who they are and how they can help the world. Project Hope is not a place to escape, like I wanted to do in 2009. Project Hope is a place to come and love. It's a place to come and learn and teach others, like I've done my whole life. I have learned and I've taught my whole life. To become good at anything, you must do that thing. And then, to make sure that it continues, you must teach it. That's what Project Hope is. I was homeless. I was abused. I was abandoned. I was on drugs. I was in a very bad relationship. We messed up our children because of our bad relationship. But I never gave up hope. Project Hope is a place to come to life. It's a home where hope lives. Now, what are we going to do at Project Hope? We're going to help the surrounding communities. We're going to get in touch with the organizations and the surrounding communities where we live, where this or any of these properties exist. And we are going to talk to those organizations that help the homeless, and we are going to put our name in the hat. We're not a homeless shelter. We're a homeless transitional living. We are going to help them, the ones who want help, to come in, have a place to sleep, have some food in their belly, hope in their life, love in their heart, and we're going to retrain them. We're going to teach them. We're going to teach everyone. Vocational training, things that will assist not only them, but any society that they go into, because they'll be bringing revenue. But they'll also be bringing all of the things that we teach at Project Hope. We're going to have a visitor center where people from all over the world can come and see what we're all about. We're going to have virtual tours. We're going to have shops that are going to have the handcrafted items of the people who live permanently in Project Hope. We're going to have presentations from some of the largest names in the industry of spirituality and health and wellness and organic farming and education and outreach and the cannabis industry. That come there, that want to come there. We're going to have an entire calendar of presenters that are going to come there and talk to people who visit and let them know about this new paradigm. We're going to have administrative area where, the root of the property. We're going to have a cannabis area, acres, where we're not only going to grow cannabis, we're going to work with hemp. We're going to utilize cannabis in every way that it can be utilized. We're also going to have a research and development area, a creation area. And the research and development is going to look for everything that cannabis can be used for. We're going to have a health and wellness area. Counseling, meditation, holistic remedies. The list goes on and on. We're going to help those who need healing heal themselves. We're going to have an organic farming area. This organic farming area is the creation area, so it's also going to be where we create stuff. But we're also going to have Vasahedron on the property from Fernando Vasa. And did you know that the Vasahedron gives you the ability of growing your own food? So in other words, the people who live in those Vasahedron will be taking care of their own food and growing their own food that can feed them throughout the year. However, we're still going to have an organic farm. And this organic farm is going to feed the rest of the people that are on the property. But we are going to grow so much produce that we are going to go out to the surrounding communities and hook up with their organizations and talk to them about feeding the hungry and clothing the needy. Because we're going to be making clothes too. We are also going to take this produce and these items and this jewelry and all of the things that are created on the property. We're going to take them out. We are going to take them out to the surrounding communities into the marketplace. And we're going to sell our wares. And we're going to bring tourism. We're going to bring relief to their economic situation. Because we are going to give supply for the growing demand. We are going to have an education and outreach area. Unlimited on what we're going to teach. But we are going to focus on vocational training as well. We're going to teach people how to do construction. We're going to teach people how to work in an office. We're going to teach people how to do tattoos. We're going to teach people how to crochet. We're going to teach people how to make jewelry. We're going to teach people Well, some very, very deep spiritual subjects. But the most important thing we're going to teach people is how to be validated by validating themselves. Self-worth, self-confidence. You are no longer a burden. You are an asset. You are an asset to yourself. We can't teach you how to love yourself, but we can give you an open avenue. Project Hope is love. We're going to have a transitional and a temporary living area. The transitional area will be for those people who want to come in and understand what it means to be in an intentional collective. Now, I want you to understand something. It is not a community. This is a collective. This is a collective of like-minded peoples. This is a collective. This is the collective consciousness that we are creating. A new collective consciousness. This is a collective where communities can become a part of the collective. If they choose. And why wouldn't they? We're going to go out and help feed the homeless, and we're going to invite them to change their lives. Just like I've invited everyone to change their lives with the chakra course that is free for you online, which currently we have over 1,100 students in over 65 different countries. We're not giving you an escape. We're going to give you a door to a brand new world. A door that once you walk through and take full advantage and utilize everything that is in it, you'll be able to go out into the world and change the world. And we are going to expand it because it will be filled to capacity very quickly, especially with the 75 resumes that I've already received of people saying they want to move there. Out of those 75, only a few of them don't want to actually move there. We're also going to have the temporary living area. If you want to come camping, come on. We're also going to do public events. We're going to do festivals. If you want to camp there, bring your RV. We're not going to have RV hookups, but thanks to future technologies that are available to us now, you will have energy. You will have water. You will have everything that you need to live an eco-friendly, self-sustainable, off-grid collective. Organic collective. A collective that is here for everyone. And by the way, I want you to understand something. Have you ever heard of Oroville? Oroville.org. Have you heard of Oroville? I just heard about Oroville in 2012. It turns out this is this huge community that can fit 3,500 people. I think it was 3,500 people. I think it might be more. In India. That when it was launched, it was backed by 148 countries. 148 countries. And I just heard about it in 2012. Out of the 3,500 people that can be living there, they have a few hundred. If that. Why is this the best kept secret? Oh, because people will find it who need it. Doesn't the world need it? Doesn't the world need something like this? It was so powerful back in the day that 148 countries said, let's do this. I don't think the United States being one of them. Yet it went by the wayside. We're not going to allow that to happen. We are going to televise everything. And I need you to understand something. While I'm not online, I'm building relationships. You see this 16 viewers? Add 6 zeros to that. Those are the relationships that I'm building. Add 6 zeros to that 16 right there. We are going to televise it so the world knows about us throughout the entire process. They will not forget about us. The communities that we go into will welcome us, because when Project Hope comes into their community, we are actually going to help build that community. What is Project Hope? My objective on my resume: to use all of the inherent, remembered, and learned skills and abilities which I've utilized throughout my life to create, build, implement, manage, and expand Project Hope, a self-sustainable, eco-friendly, off-grid, intentional collective where people from all over the world can come to life by utilizing the many resources available within our property. To use existing and new earth-friendly technologies to live with our planet while we work on becoming everything we can be by balancing our bodies, minds, and spirits to have a positive effect on not only our lives, but to those lives we touch. That's Project Hope. This is what we need your help with.